Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning, back on the topic of the NFL. Today I'm discussing pretty much my favorite team to talk about, and that is the Cleveland Browns, and whether or not they can win the upcoming Super Bowl, Super Bowl 56. I think you can certainly make the argument. I think a lot of people have the same idea as me that the Browns have pretty much either the or at least one of the most complete rosters in the league from the defensive side of the football to the offensive side of the ball. This Browns team is stacked. So I'm going to be looking at today whether or not they can win the Super Bowl coming into this season. There's a lot of teams in both conferences. Talking NFC, the Packers maybe, but the Bucks and the Rams are my two top teams out of the NFC that I think either of them have a great shot at taking the ring home. Then look at the AFC. I think there's, of course, the Browns, the Bills, the Chiefs. Can't forget the Chiefs. There's a lot of teams, maybe the Chargers. I mean, there's a lot of teams in both conferences that I think have a good shot at taking the ring home this year. So today I'm looking at whether or not the Browns can. Before we get into the video, question of the day, and that's really I just want to hear your guys' opinion in the comments below, what you think about the Browns Super Bowl hopes. Do you think Baker is good enough? Do you think their backfield can carry them? Do you think their defense is going to be good enough? Just I want to hear your guys' opinions on the Browns Super Bowl hopes because you're about to hear mine. So first of all, back to what I said about the roster. This Browns team, from offense to defense, is really stacked. And I mean, just to go through the names, of course, you got Baker, who is a young guy trying to prove himself, and I think he's certainly been getting better since his rookie year. Now, believe it or not, his highest touchdowns of his career was in his rookie year. I think he had 28. But the turnovers have certainly been, the turnover numbers have been going down for Baker consistently. The efficiency, of course, with Baker has been improving, and he's becoming smarter off the field. So I like the way Baker is headed in the right direction. So I do have good hope for him in the future. That backfield, of course, with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb is the reason why the Browns offense is good enough that I think that they are in the Super Bowl conversation. I've talked about it a lot in past videos. The key for the Browns' success is to rely heavily on the backfield with those two of the best running backs in the league. Rely heavily on them, and then of course use Baker when you need to. When you need a good throw, when you need a smart throw, a deep throw, whatever. Use Baker, but really focus on the run game, supplemented by Baker Mayfield. I don't want to see Baker have to be the star of that offense because I don't think that will end well. And then hopefully you get OBJ back. You got Jarvis Landry. You re-sign Rashad Higgins. You got Austin Hooper, David Njoku. There's a lot of weapons on this Browns offense. And then you move to the defensive side of the ball. It just gets almost better than the offense, or at least it stays very scary for the opposing team. Of course, that up front led by Myles Garrett. You pick up Jadeveon Clowney in the offseason, which I think has the potential, certainly, to be big. To your secondary, you add or you had Denzel Ward, and you had Troy Hill, you had John Johnson to safety. So the defensive side of the ball got better. Yes, they did lose Sheldon Richardson, but I think that Jadeveon Clowney can help fill that hole up front there. I guess Clowney lining up his end, lining up his linebacker. He does it all. He also gets injured, so we'll have to talk about that. But the Browns team, no doubt about it, very well-rounded team, a well-rounded roster. So the keys for me are, of course, number one, Baker. Is he going to be able to play good enough football to get this done for the Browns? I mean, I mentioned them earlier. Who are the other teams in the conversation? Out of the AFC, let's see. Of course, the Chiefs are really always in the conversation since Mahomes has showed up of winning the conference. So the Chiefs are there. The Browns are there. The Bills are in the top teams in the AFC. And then, of course, I think the Chargers have the potential to be there. The Ravens, yes. And then two interesting teams that have had big changes. The Patriots, who really just redesigned their entire team, and it's just going to be a matter of, do they have a quarterback that's going to be good enough for them to at least win the AFC East, maybe, but there's a possibility there. And then the Titans, who add Julio Jones to an offense that already has AJ Brown, two of the best receivers now in the league. So the Titans, Patriots, Ravens, and the Chargers, teams worth mentioning. But my top three AFC seeds or AFC Super Bowl contenders are going to be Chiefs, Browns, and the Bills. So of course the Browns are going to have to be better than those other two of the top three teams to win the league. The Bills, I've mentioned in past videos that I think they're great, and I think their connection between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs is fantastic, but I do think that team is one-dimensional. We saw last year that not a lot of teams were really able to shut down that connection until they got to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. But if a team's able to do so, then the Bills don't have much else to come after them unless they figure out running back. And the Bills' defense is, again, nothing spectacular. So I think the Bills are a great team and certainly are definitely in the conversation for winning the AFC. But put the Bills and Browns head to head. I'm going to take the Browns all day because of that roster. And then the Chiefs. We saw the Chiefs and the Browns last year go head-to-head in a game that was low-scoring, more low-scoring than I thought it would be. This was in the divisional round last year. Chiefs obviously moved on to go to the Super Bowl, so they won the game. But it required Chad Henne, is that the Chiefs' backup quarterback, I believe, came in and actually made a key fourth down conversion, but whatever. Mahomes was hurt. Chiefs and Browns played a close game, but the Browns' offense just wasn't on that day. So this is all just for speculation for this year of can the Browns beat the Chiefs, and I think that they showed last year that they can. They hung with them, and they didn't even play that great of football. Baker didn't throw the ball very well. And anyway, my point is, of the three teams that are my top AFC seeds, the Browns are right there with them, and I think could come out on top. Back to what I was saying earlier about Baker Mayfield. He is one of two things that I need the Browns to be able to. I need for it to happen for the Browns to be in this conversation. I need Baker Mayfield to keep the turnovers to a career low, basically. I think last year he threw roughly 10 or 11 interceptions, I think is the number. And a lot of them came in the first half of the year. Then the second half of the year, he was very efficient. So he's showing that he is improving, and I think if he can carry the lack of turnovers from the end of last season into this year, I think that's going to be huge for the Browns if he can do it. And then, of course, keeping his composure in tough situations where, like I said, they rely on Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb for the brute of the offense, but in situations where they need a third down and long conversion or a third and goal from the 8, a pass from Baker, they need him to throw the football. I need Baker to clutch up and take those receivers that he's got at his disposal and score or convert the third down. So I need, and of course I need Baker to keep it together off the field. So the thing I need from Baker Mayfield is efficiency, lack of turnovers, and when it comes down to a big play, a clutch play, I need him to do it. I need him to prove that he's the man. So that's what I need from Baker Mayfield. So that's number one thing that I need for the Browns, or from the Browns, is an efficient season from Baker Mayfield. I'm not asking for 40 touchdowns. I'm not asking for an MVP caliber season. I'm asking for efficient football from Baker Mayfield. And the other thing that I need to happen is for Jadeveon Clowney to not be a bust. And let's see, with Houston, I'm a Texans fan, so I followed along with him in Houston. We took him first overall. He was good when he was healthy, which was very minimal. I think he played one season of 15 games, and the other seasons that he played, I think 3 or 4 total in Houston, were under half a season's worth of games. So Jadeveon Clowney's battled injuries his whole career, didn't play a whole lot in Tennessee. If he can manage to stay healthy with the Browns and play football that he is capable of, him and Myles Garrett up front and that secondary that the Browns have is going to be unstoppable. So on top of Baker Mayfield playing efficient and just straight up solid and good football, I need Jadeveon Clowney to stay healthy and play to the caliber that I know that he has showed before he can play to if he is healthy. So all in all, are the Browns Super Bowl contenders? Are they 100%? Are they a team that I would place money on? I'm going to say no. I think they certainly have the potential, but I'm not totally sold right now. Yes, we saw Baker win the first playoff game for the Browns in 20-something years, 20 roughly years last year. So they're on the rise, and I think this is a team that I certainly would expect to. I shouldn't say expect. I think that I would maybe place a bet on them making an AFC championship. But I just don't think Baker is quite ready to win a Super Bowl or even get there yet. I think if they do find themselves in a Super Bowl against either LA in the Rams or Tampa Bay, I think either of those two teams beat the Browns because both of those teams have good defenses, and either of their offenses, I think, can outscore the Browns. So that's my prediction if the Browns can make a Super Bowl. But my realistic prediction is an AFC championship where the Browns lose to, say, the Chiefs. I haven't worked out or thought about the seeding yet, so who might be meeting up in the AFC championship. But I think what we might see this year is a Browns AFC championship appearance, and maybe they fall short there. And if they go to the Super Bowl, they're going to fall short to either the Rams or the Bucs. That's just my hunch. I think Jadeveon Clowney, like I said, the Browns are going to need him to stay healthy, and I just don't think, based off of his past, that he will be able to. So the takeaway from here is that Cleveland has a great team, and I think the hope should be super, super high for the future. But I don't think this year is quite your year for the Super Bowl, but keep your hopes up because it's definitely possible. That's all for the video. Remember to comment below what you think about the Browns Super Bowl hopes. Guys, thanks for watching. 2-minute warning.